Hello Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Cancer, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. So with that being said, Cancer, let's focus on you first, then we'll jump over to your person. Just keep in mind that the roles could be reversed. Okay. How does Cancer currently view this relationship? All right, Cancer. Right now you find yourself in a place where you're trying to figure out like, okay, should I stay or should I go? Should I try to make this work or should I not try to make this work? So it kind of looks like right now that's currently what you find yourself trying to figure out when it comes down to this, person. Now, this could definitely represent somebody that you're married to or, in a committed relationship with. I am definitely getting that for some of you as well. This could have a lot to do with like a situation where the two of you did end up breaking up and you're trying to figure out like, okay, like, should I give this person another chance or should I not give this person another chance? So I'm getting that for some of you as well. Okay, how does this person currently view this relationship? Okay. So we do have the Hierophant, we do have the Magician out here, and then we also have the Knight of Swords. Okay. It kind of looks like everybody's a little conflicted here, though. I feel like this person's leaning far more towards wanting to make this dynamic between the two of you work, but I feel like there's like a good 95% of them that wants to make this dynamic between the two of you work, but then there's that other 5% of them that's just like, I just don't want to do this anymore. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to go through this anymore. I just don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through this either. Like, so it kind of looks like everybody's a little bit conflicted. Right now is kind of what I'm getting, Cancer, unfortunately, for the both of you. Okay, let's jump back over to you, Cancer. How does Cancer currently feel? Okay. I'm gonna be honest, there's an energy of you essentially feeling like you would be better off without this person in your life versus with this person in your life. I'm definitely getting that strongly, Cancer. But then there's still that part of you that's very much so emotionally attached to this person. That part of you that's emotionally attached to this person is what has you conflicted to begin with. Because if there wasn't any sort of emotional attachment that you had towards this person, this decision of yours would be extremely easy. You would just get up and walk away and never look back. But I think that's what's creating this energy of like inner conflict and indecisiveness, within you. It has a lot to do with the emotional attachment that you have towards this person, because at the end of the day, despite the fact that you may feel like you're better off without this person, this is somebody that you still love. This is somebody that you still care for deeply. So it just kind of makes this decision for you that much more harder. Now, where there was an ending that did actually take place between the two of you, and you're like trying to like figure out like, okay, like, do I really want to walk away from this and never look back? Like, am I really making the right decision, by walking away and never looking back? Or should I give this, relationship another go around? I think that just kind of based off of how your life has been looking like and consisting of without this person in it, it does kind of have you feeling like, well, I am kind of better off without this person. I noticed that I'm not as stressed as I used to be. I'm not as overwhelmed as I used to be. Like, maybe I did make the right decision, but you're still unsure if you did. And for those of you who fall into that category, it has a lot to do with the fact that, your mind wants you to do one thing, but your heart's like, no, let's do the complete opposite, So it's a battle between what your mind wants you to do versus what your heart wants you to do. How does this person currently feel? Okay. I feel like this person just wants the person that they initially fell in love with back. Okay. So with this energy coming out, that's basically insinuating that this person feels like you've drastically changed over time. You're not the person that they married. You're not the person that they initially entered a relationship with. They just want the man that they fell in love with back. They just want the woman that they fell in love with back. That's just what this person essentially wants. This person feels like if they could get the version of you that they essentially fell in love with back, that, you know, this could totally work out, that they would be fine, that they would be great. You know, they wouldn't find themselves in this like, you know, indecisive place when it comes down to you and their relationship, you know, with you. But because according to them, they feel like you have drastically changed, you know, over time, this is what causes them to essentially feel like, well, maybe, just maybe, you know, this relationship is not going to work because I don't want to keep going through this. I don't want to keep going through that. You know, this person feels like you used to be very loving and very like affectionate, and you would like, you know, pay attention to them, things of that nature. Now, I'm not entirely sure around what time they're referring to. It could have been during the beginning of this relationship, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But according to them, they do feel like you were far more loving and affectionate, you know, with them, patient, understanding, compassionate. You know, you got your way to do nice things for them. Like, they just feel like you've totally changed. Yeah, they do. They feel like you've totally changed. You're not like that anymore, according to them. They feel like you're not like that anymore. You don't pay attention to them anymore. You don't do nice things for them anymore. You're not patient with them anymore. You're not understanding anymore. You're just not the person that they fell in love with anymore. And I think that that's what has this person, to be honest, holding on, is because they're holding on to this version of you that, according to them, no longer exists. Okay? Because they feel like they're dealing with a complete different version of you, and the version of you that they're holding on to, apparently, according to them, right, has been gone a long time ago, according to them. Okay. What actions will Cancer take towards this person or moving forward? Okay. So we do have the King of Wands. We do have the Empress. And then we also have the Strength card out here. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Three of Pentacles. We also have the Eight of Pentacles. And then we also have the Star. Okay. In regards to how you plan on moving forward, I think that you are very, very much so aware that you know, this is somebody who clearly, you know, still wants to make this marriage and a relationship that they, you know, once upon a time had with you, or they still do have with you. You guys are technically speaking still together, work. Okay. That's not really the problem. I mean, I do see them conveying all of this to you if they haven't already. I mean, the issue that I'm kind of seeing that you're kind of running into is, okay, like, they want to work things out with me. Okay. But you don't know, you know, at the end of the day, what you want to do. You don't know what you want to do at the end of the day. And that's the issue that I see you essentially running into. I'm very curious to see how this all plays out, of course, between you and this person. But before we look further more into what you plan on doing next, let's look at this person, their energy, and then we'll go from there. What actions will this person take towards Cancer or moving forward? Okay, so this is acting as a double confirmation that they do want to reconcile. You know, they do want to start over. At the end of this person's realizing, you know, there are some things that, you know, they need to work on. There are some things that they need to essentially change about themselves. And, you know, they're just kind of hoping, you know, that you also realize that there are certain things you need to work on, as well as change about yourself too. Okay. So there's a whole lot of them realizing, you know what, I do need to kind of work on this. I do really need to kind of stop doing that. And I also need to start doing this, and I also need to start doing that from this point on. So they're recognizing what they need to work on, what they need to change about themselves. But that also is not the issue either. The real issue too is that they can change X, Y, and Z about themselves, but if you remain the same, the problem in itself is going to continue to remain the same. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like what I said with you. It's like, yeah, they want to work things out. That's what they want. You know, they do want to reconcile. And it's like, all right, well, that's not the problem. The problem is that you don't know what you want to do moving forward, whether that be with this person in your life or without this person, you know, in your life. So let's look at the King of Wands. Let's see what's going on. Okay, let's talk. Okay. So in the end, what I do see you deciding to do is give this dynamic another go around. But there's a but to this. There's a but to this, especially with that Seven of Wands coming out here, and you're not playing, okay? When it comes down to, you know, how you want to move forward in this entire situation. If things continue to remain the same with this person, in other words, if you keep going through the same old over and over again with this person, that's when you're going to decide to officially walk away from this entire situation and never look back. Okay. Now, I don't feel like you're playing, you know, when you convey all of this to them. And I think that this is something that this person should really take seriously. And I want to kind of point out why. Okay. Is the King of Pentacles out here? The King of Pentacles is out here. No, that's the King of Cups. Where's the King of Pentacles? I want to point something out because I definitely noticed something as I was obviously looking into you and your energy. And it's very, very important that this person doesn't take you as a joke or, you know, doesn't take you and what you're conveying to them. I'm sorry. Hold on, because it's like I'm trying to like do this and then talk at the same exact time. I have like the only like ADHD. It's just not even. Where's the fucking King of Pentacles? Is he out here? Hold on, let me look for them. Hold on. Okay, I found the King of Pentacles. All right, so now that we have the King of Pentacles out here, let me line this up real quick so that way you can actually see you know, what I'm talking about and if they're obviously resonating to the right of me so that way they can see it too. So let's get started. It looks like you started this relationship off as a King of Pentacles, which is really, really nice. That's basically insinuating that when you initially met this person, you truly did put your best foot forward when it came down to them. You basically gave them and your relationship with them your all, okay? Now, with that being said, it kind of looks like over time, you know, we are definitely seeing a significant change within your energy, which I am definitely getting what this person is talking about as far as there being a drastic change within your energy. Because when we were looking at you, Cancer, you went from harnessing King of Swords like energy to King of Wands like energy, which personally, I don't necessarily look at that as a good thing, especially if we're talking about like a marriage and a relationship and somebody's jumping from like a King of Pentacles all the way to a King of Wands like energy. That's a terrible sign. So, you know, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it. So you start this relationship off as a King of Pentacles, and then over time you started finding yourself going through things, and then you know, over time you started, you know, drastically changing. So it kind of looks like it got to that point where you started to lose respect for them, and then you started to lose, you know, you started to lose love for them. Now with the King of Swords, you're currently at the moment at this stage within your marriage and a relationship with this person where you're trying your hardest to like check out mentally speaking, but because mentally speaking, you're still not entirely, I would say, checked out just yet. That's, I would say, what kind of might be also causing you to want to revisit this all over again, because you may think to yourself, well, all right, well, you know, what if I do this, you know, and then it helps, you know, my marriage or my relationship with this person. You know what, let me try this and see if this works, you know. So this is kind of why we technically speaking see you trying again. Not only that, but I do feel like the fact that you're kind of at this King of Swords stage is kind of telling me that you have checked out from this person, emotionally speaking, because we did see that the one thing that was keeping you tied to the situation was you being emotionally attached to this person. But we do see that, you know, also starting to kind of dissipate, I would say, on your behalf. So you go from, I don't know, like, if I really want to make this work or not, because, you know, I still love them, I'm still in love with them, I care about them, to then, you know what, let me give this, you know, person, this relationship another go around. And by the time you do, you've already emotionally checked out. You just haven't checked out mentally speaking just yet. And that's the stage that you're at right now, where you haven't fully checked out mentally speaking. Now, although mentally, right, your brain is telling you, get the hell out of this marriage, get the hell out of this relationship, it's just not good for you, right? Your brain is telling you all of these things. But the thing is that because you've spent the amount of time you spent with this person, envisioning your life without this person in it is very, very challenging and difficult for you to do. It's like your brain just cannot, wrap around the idea of living life without them in it. Like, what? Like, living life without them in it? Like, we can't do that. Like, we can't do that. We've been with them for X amount of years. Like, we can't live without them. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of what's going on. But then once you start entertaining the idea of being without them, that's when we start to kind of see you kind of embrace the idea of being without this person, and what your life could look like and consist of, and things of that nature. And then we kind of see you drop to King of Wands like energy, which again is not really a good thing, because by the time you hit this King of Wands energy, that's kind of telling me that yes, technically speaking, are you giving this marriage and a relationship another chance? Sure, but we don't really see things improving on your behalf. In other words, we don't really see you falling back into love with them. We don't see you, checking back in, mentally speaking and emotionally speaking. We just don't see that happening on your behalf. You're just giving this relationship another chance just to, I don't know if you're doing it because you just want to see, like, all right, let's just see what happens. I don't know if you're doing it for those, like, let me just try this one thing and let me just see if it makes my marriage with this person work or my relationship with this person work. Like, let me just try, because I haven't done this one thing just yet. So let me try this one thing, and if it works and it does, then if it doesn't, then it fucking doesn't, right? And we don't really see anything improving on your behalf. I'm gonna be honest, we don't really see anything improving on your behalf. Like, in other words, you still kind of find yourself not happy with this person. You still kind of find yourself kind of feeling like blah, about this marriage and a relationship. And that's when we start to kind of see you entertaining the idea, right, of being without this person. What is my life going to look like without them? What is it going to consist of? What am I going to do with my life? The moment that I do leave them, where am I going to live? Where am I going to go? Like, we start to kind of see you jump into that energy. And once you start to kind of jump, honestly, into that energy, that's kind of, when I kind of see, unfortunately, things just kind of declining within this marriage and a relationship that you guys share with one another. Now, here's another thing too. We are noticing a significant change within their energy as well, and it's not, it's definitely not for the better. I do see this, I do see you guys giving this relationship another go around, sure, but the fact that this person goes from a Queen of Pentacles to a Queen of Swords like that, that's also not a good sign. I think that this thing that you guys are deciding to do as far as giving this marriage and a relationship another chance is just kind of revealing to the both of you, this is not working. I'm not happy. This is not working. That's what it's revealing to the both of you. Because remember, going back to what I said, it's like they're realizing there's certain things they need to change about themselves. But there's also things they need you to change about yourself. You're not the man that they fell in love with anymore. You're not the woman that they fell in love with anymore. And they need that man back. They need that woman back. If they don't get that man back or that woman back, what's going to happen is that they're going to start to become extremely miserable within their marriage and a relationship with you. And this is why we're seeing a decline within this dynamic here between the two of you on their end. They go from a Queen of Pentacles to a Queen of Swords. That is not a good sign whatsoever. That's basically implying that they're losing respect for you and they're losing love for you. And once they hit the Queen of Swords status, very similar to the King of Swords, once they hit Queen of Swords status, it's like they start to question, why am I really here with Cancer? Like, why am I here? Why do I keep trying? Why do I bother? Why do I do this to myself? Like, why am I fucking here? Like, now, although this person has yet to check out mentally from you and their relationship with you, their brain hasn't fully grasped the idea of being without you because of how long you guys have been together. You guys just got so used to being with one another. You know what I mean? That you guys, your brain has not, your brain just can't wrap around not waking up to this person every morning. It's just like you've done it for so many years. Like your brain just can't wrap around it. You know what I mean? The idea of not waking up to this person every damn morning. I mean, you've been doing it for I don't know how long. It's like, and the same applies for them. It's like they can't really wrap their brain around not waking up to you every morning. You're like, that just, it doesn't seem right. What you mean? I'm not gonna wake up to Cancer every morning? Like, no, I've been doing this for so fucking long. I'm waking up to Cancer every morning. That's weird, like. And then, if this continues on, between, you and this person, somebody's gonna leave. Somebody's gonna leave. And if I had to guess who's going to leave, hands down, it's definitely going to be you. And the reason why it's going to be you is because you're reaching this King of Wands status way before they even reach the Queen of Wands status. Because what comes before the Queen of Swords is the Queen of Wands. So once they check out mentally and they harness Queen of Wands like energy, it's just only a matter of time before they leave physically. It's just only a matter of time. It's just only a matter of time. And it's one of those things where it's like, you're kind of getting there way before they do. You know what I mean? Because now you're harnessing, you're getting back with them, or you're deciding to work things out with them. You're not really noticing a significant change. You're still unhappy. You're still this, you're still that. You start entertaining the idea of being without this person, because that's the phase the King of Wands goes through when they're in a marriage and a relationship. And then the grass starts to appear to be greener on the other side, because that's what happens when you start harnessing King of Wands energy. When you're in a marriage and a relationship, when you go from a King of Pentacles to start harnessing King of Wands energy, that's when it starts to kind of get, once you get King of Wands like energy, and you start to entertain the idea of not being with this person anymore, it's only a matter of time before you leave physically. And that's what, unfortunately, I do see happening. If I had to guess who's going to leave this marriage and a relationship first, it's going to be you. It's going to be you. And it's going to hurt the hell out of them. It's going to hurt the hell out of them because, for one, they invested a lot of time and energy towards this dynamic that they share with you. And I'm sure, obviously, you have as well. And they just wanted this time that they invested into you and this dynamic that they share with you to count for something. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that's what you wanted to, but things played out the way that it did. And I just don't think that this person, like, not that they are shocked or surprised by, the ending of it all, because they kind of knew, that this just wasn't working out. But it's just like, you got to understand that they haven't checked out mentally just yet. If this person would have checked out mentally like you have, like the moment you decided to walk away from this relationship, it would have been nothing to them. It would have been like, all right, peace, see you later. Not fucking really, you know what I mean? It would have been like that. But it's like, because they have yet to check out mentally from you, and this marriage that they share with you, this life that they share with you, this relationship that they share with you, it's gonna come fucking crashing down like a fucking ton of bricks on them. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be forced to adjust and adapt to life without you in it like that. See, you had time to adjust and adapt. You didn't have time to adjust and adapt to life without this person in it. I think that you had your time to check out from them, mentally speaking. You had your time. You were already entertaining the idea of being without them and what is it going to look like. And then you started reaching this point of, damn, like the grass actually does look green on the other side from where I'm fucking standing. Let me go over there. And then boom, that's it. That's the end of this marriage and a relationship. Now you're leaving, Meanwhile, they were still holding on to you and their marriage with you, their life with you, their relationship with you mentally. Not emotionally, mentally. So it's going to hit them like a ton of bricks the day that you decide to get up and go. It is. It's not that they didn't know. It's that they knew that this wasn't working out, but like they didn't think I guess, like, again, going back to the whole brain thing, it's like their brain just couldn't process life without you in it. It just, their brain didn't fully check out just yet from this marriage and a relationship like it did for you. So that's why leaving for you is going to be very easy, because you've already checked out mentally, So unfortunately, you guys, I do see this, dynamic between the two of you coming to an end, unfortunately. I do. Okay. Now, I'm gonna be honest, Cancer. The fact that you're giving this relationship another go around, harnessing King of Swords like energy, if this has yet to happen, there's a way to obviously turn this entire situation around. And I really do hate to call you out on this, Cancer, but I couldn't help but to notice it. So I'm just going to say it, and don't be mad at me. I'm just being real with you, okay? You're deciding to give this marriage and a relationship another go around, which I think is awesome. I think it's great. However, you're kind of doing it in a way that it's not going to make the marriage and a relationship work. It's like you're coming back into this whole equation like, okay, you know what, I want to make this work, but let me say something real quick. You gotta start doing this and 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 this, okay? And if you start doing this and this and this and this, we'll be good. But if you don't, it's gonna be a damn problem, without any sort of intentions of changing yourself. And I think that that's where you're kind of going wrong, or that's where you're gonna go wrong if this has yet to essentially happen. You're expecting all of these things from them. I'm keeping it real with you. You're expecting all of these things from them, but you're not putting in the work to change yourself. And this is why your person is going from a Queen of Pentacles to a Queen of Swords like that, because here they are putting in the work to change, and you're remaining the same. They're not getting the man that they fell in love with back by doing all of these things you want them to do. They're not getting the woman that they fell in love with, back by doing all these things that you want them to do. They're not getting that person back. They're giving you what you want, but you're not giving them like what they want in return. You see what I mean? And it's like, it's you know, like, I feel like that's why this is not working. That's why this is not working, because you're not really being fair, Cancer. I'm gonna be honest, dude. Like, you're not really being fair. Like, you're expecting all of these things from them, and they're trying, to deliver. You know what I mean? And it's just like, as they're trying to deliver, you're remaining the same. And that's gonna cause them, as well as anybody, to fall into an energy of, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I trying to make this marriage work if they're not changing? Why am I trying to make this relationship work if they're not? If the roles were reversed and they're telling you, yo, you got to do X, Y, and Z, okay? And you turn around and you do X, Y, and Z, and they continue to do the very thing that makes you extremely unhappy within this marriage and a relationship, you're going to look at it the same way they're looking at it. You're going to feel the exact same way that they feel. So if this has yet to happen, just be consciously aware that you want to make this relationship work, but they got to change this and this and this and this and this and this and this about themselves. And if they change this and this and this and this and this about themselves, then I don't know, maybe this might work out without changing yourself. And that's going to be the downfall to this marriage and a relationship, if you do go about this the way I see you going about it. Obviously, if this has yet to occur, there's obviously time to turn the situation around. If you're expecting all of these things from them, you're going to have to reciprocate that back, homie. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, this relationship, it will definitely come to an end. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It will definitely come to an end. Without a shadow of a doubt, it will totally come to an end. It will totally come to an end. I can guarantee you it will come to an end if you go about this the way that I see you going about it. Now, if you don't, there's a high chance that it's not going to come to an end, and everybody's going to be happy because they're getting what it is that they want. They're getting the man and or woman that they fell in love with back. Boom, that's going to make them happy. And they're giving you whatever it is that your heart essentially desires. Boom, that's going to make you happy. But it all depends on how you want to play it. You know what I mean? So that is what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading.